A health lifestyle theory is defined as health lifestyles are collective patterns of health-related behavior based on choices from options available to people according to their life chances. Ideally, the determined choices would be decided out of informed knowledge of what is healthy and what is not. However, social class can strongly determine the availability of a consistent healthy lifestyle. Cultural values will strongly influence the health and wellness of those in a society. If the values and ideas promote healthy behavior patterns, it is more likely that the members of that society will maintain more healthy lifestyles. Health maintenance is determined by the choices one makes in their life on a day-to-day basis. Based on social class, an individual will have limited access to choices because of life chances. Fair or not, the provision of health care for people in our society is determined by whether they are an insured or uninsured patient. Therefore, the advantages of education and lucrative job opportunities that provide insurance or the ability to buy insurance expand the life chances of individuals. Order in society is the foundational principle of the structural functional perspective. Sickness in and of itself is dysfunctional in social order, states Tweedle. Therefore, sick people should behave like sick people and adhere to the concept of the sick role, a concept coined by a Harvard sociologist by the name of Talcott Parsons. In the sick role, society can expect 4 assumptions. If a person is truly sick, he or she can be exempt from normal social responsibilities, such as fulfilling job responsibilities. Number 2, becoming sick is not the fault of the individual. Number 3, the sick person must want to recover. He or she must demonstrate a desire to return to their normal mode of behavior. And number 4, the sick person must seek help and demonstrate the willingness to recover. Parsons sees that order can be restored in a society if the sick person cooperates and fulfills obligations of the sick role. Thus, social stability is running smoothly. The sociological conflict perspective coincides with the life chances and life choices theory. Society groups and social classes have their cultural values. This is apparent in the conflict between different economic classes. Social class has an impact on individual life chances. Cynthia Tweedle states that one's physical and mental health and life expectancy are affected by class background, and people with low incomes live 7 years less than the more affluent. Social inequality is apparent when we see some social groups benefit more than others. It is a social injustice to know that healthcare in the United States does not give equal benefits. At this point, I want to share another analogy. I'm looking here at a balancing scale, and you'll see that it is equally balanced. And when you notice this, think about this fact. If whatever angle that you're looking at a balancing scale from, it's going to be the same. As opposed to the chair, whatever angle you're looking at the chair from in a room, you see different perspectives. But think with me, if I had a real set of balancing scales before us, looking at those, whether you're in front of them, beside them, or behind them, it's going to be equal. Social inequality is apparent when we see some social groups benefit more than others. It is a social injustice to know that healthcare in the United States does not give equal benefits. We can also approach this subject from another sociological perspective, the interactionist perspective. Health and wellness of any individual can be viewed up close and personal by approaching it through this theory. Societal groups interact on the concept of how they view themselves. We tend to engage, follow, and mirror those people we relate to on a regular basis. Individual social interactions are also reflected by symbols such as gestures and body language. These symbols, along with the way we dress, will communicate something about who we are. Health and wellness is a complex subject with many variables to consider. There are many different types of facilities throughout the United States that provide health care services to meet the needs of people. Now in the United States, the federal government regulates the health insurance industries and requires all citizens to obtain health insurance. It is no longer optional. Therefore, it has become a source of frustration and even fear to some. There are such strict regulations expected in the healthcare system that healthcare providers have to determine the quality of care given. When what appears to be advantageous is no longer for the common good. It does not benefit society as a whole. The social injustice of inequality proves just that. Addressing the social injustice of inequality starts with each of us. There is a consciousness of kind arising in our culture that addresses social inequality, although it is assumed that political action approaches will probably not succeed apart from re-education and attitude changes. Governmental programs are attempting to educate and address health and nutrition in public schools and other community organizations that are federally funded. A recent article appeared in the Journal of Law, Medicine and Ethics discussing prevention, wellness, and improving the public's health. The journal talks about a healthcare reform debate in the Senate, and they stated, viewed public health as a significant issue. In the Christian societies, organizations such as religious groups and community groups are giving themselves and resources to cross cultural lines and social class labels to reach out and be the example Jesus Christ instructs us to be. We are to love unconditionally and to abandon superegos and recognize individual people up close and personal. We are to value everyone instead of a group and to be rejected and penalized. We are to help those in need who struggle with limited options that leaves them to decide between getting help when sick or providing basic needs such as food and shelter to survive. We can be part of a system of care in our society.